Hey, in this video I'll be talking about a very popular manga, Bakuman. If you didn't know, this was made by the same duo that made Death Note and Platinum End. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's start by mentioning some of the strengths of Bakuman. Bakuman's comedy is really good. It feels realistic and doesn't feel forced at all. Like for example, this scene where Saiko is sitting next to Azuki. Shujin is trying his hardest not to laugh, making the scene funnier overall. Once again, the comedy isn't forced. You see the scene and make sense of the scene, which makes it funny, accompanied by this extra scene about how they are both nervous about having to sit together, and quote-unquote, what if my stomach makes a weird noise? This is just one example, but I'm sure you understand what I mean by now. The art is also great. I think it fits the series great. It has very consistently good art, and because I'm not an artist, I'm not sure what else to say. I suppose Bakuman really rarely has double spreads. The pacing for the series is amazing. It's like a breath of fresh air for me, as I've read so many fast-paced action series, that this is a great change of pace. I'm loving the slower pace. But along with the slower pace comes more storytelling through character interaction / text bubbles. I don't know how else to call them. But with more and bigger text bubbles comes longer reading times, which could be a problem for you if you don't have much time a day to spend to read manga. Like I used to be able to read the full Kaiju number 8 volume while on the bus. Barely. But now, if I'm not rushing, I can read 1 to 2 chapters max of Bakuman in the same time. Also, the concept of Bakuman is great. I've always wanted to know how it is working as a manga creator and the journey to get there. And Bakuman does a great job at telling you that story. With the story writing of Tsugumi Obha, the story writer of Death Note and Platinum End, and the stunning art of Takeshi Obata, the artist of Death Note, Hikaru no Go, Platinum End, All You Need Is Skill, and a lot of others. It's like a match made in heaven. With me reading their work Bakuman right now, and having read All You Need Is Skill, and having watched the anime of Death Note, planning to read the manga very soon, this duo has become my favorite manga creators. As of now, I've read only 2 volumes of Bakuman. I bought the first 2 volumes on Facebook Marketplace to give it a try, as I had no idea what it was about. I've seen Saiko and Shujin get their work, The World Is All About Money and Intelligence, get only 3rd place in Akamaru, after being told the early results placed him in 1st place, and the Ashigori duo made 3 storyboards for chapters for that series in case they stayed 1st. But speaking of what I've read so far, I want to talk a bit more about the characters and story now. So, the main character is Saiko, and the deuteragonist is Shujin. I absolutely butchered that pronunciation, man. Shujin wants to become a manga creator, but he can't draw for shit. So he sought after Saiko so they can become a duo. Saiko really doesn't want to draw manga, but Shujin, after some Shujin activities happen, Saiko agrees hastily to make a manga with Shujin. Some of the other main cast are Mr. Hattori, Eiji Nizuma, Miyoshi, and Azuki. Let me give you a brief description of what I've read so far. As I said, Shujin gets Saiko to work with him after he gets Saiko and Azuki to meet, and Saiko for some reason asks Azuki if she'd want to marry him after she became a voice actor for a manga they were making's lead female role. And to even more surprise, she agrees. So they start making their first manga, The Two Earths, and they finish it by the time volume 1 is over. In volume 2, we meet Hattori for more than one panel, and he's the editor for their manga. And even though he doesn't think it's that good, he takes a chance on them just because they're still middle school students and they have a bunch of potential. He takes their manga and submits it to a monthly award, and they get only 11th place, which was a real shocker. But when thinking about it, there's no way 2 14-year-olds can make a manga in their first attempt. But then again, there's Eiji Nizuma, who's just a beast, man. You have to realize, a manga author who gets a series when they're just 15 is just nuts. It's like basically impossible in real life. But because we have Eiji Nizuma as an example, we always think it's more than doable for the Ashigori duo to do it as well, when in reality, it's just insane. Then the Ashigori duo makes a new manga, The 100th Million, which Hattori likes a lot more. He submits it to the Tezuka Award, and while it gets quite high placements, it didn't get nearly high enough results as they would have hoped. And it didn't even get top 4, and Eiji of course got 1st place. Then a very notable manga / one-shot gets made. The World Is All About Money and Intelligence. They submitted it and got a lot of praise from Hattori, and the results showed the same thing. When Hattori called him and told him that the early results showed that they were in 1st place, even with Eiji being there as well, the duo immediately started with storyboards for the chapters for that series, as they think if they hold that 1st place and go to Hattori with storyboards for chapters for that series, he will have no choice but to submit it to the serialization meeting. So they make them and they go to submit them to Hattori. But before they could give it, Hattori tells them that the final results gave them 3rd place, which was a real shock. And the duo doesn't even tell Hattori in the end that they made storyboards for 3 chapters. On their way home, they go to a river and throw their manga in the river. Saiko says that they're going to go full mainstream manga now. That's pretty much how far I've gotten in Bakuman so far. I have fallen in love with this series, and I can't wait to collect more volumes in this future. Wait a second, what was that?
Yo, what the fuck was that? It's you again! I told you, you have a restraining order! Okay, this actually came in a long time ago, like, I don't even have any volumes in here, like, they're all on the shelf already. And I've already read up to, like, volume 8 of Bakuman, like, I have the bookmark right there. So,